so this is a short video for me, just to remind myself how to do hard sync on the Pro-1. I'm just listening to oscillator A, it's set to saw wave. And there is an arpeggiator. If I listen to oscillator B instead, it's an octave down. If I blend them, they're probably more or less in tune. Okay, that's in tune. So now what happens is this. So octave B is an octave down. See, it's set to octave 1 instead of octave 2. So what that means is that the frequency, the repeat cycle of the wave, is half of this of oscillator A. If I take oscillator A, I'm now only listening to oscillator A, and I set this to sync, sometimes called hard sync. What's happening is that the wave is resetting with the cycle time of oscillator B. Now, since oscillator B is exactly half the cycle time of oscillator A, it's not going to sound very interesting. But you can start to hear some harmonics creep in, and but then it gets interesting, and so the pitch, the fundamental pitch, is going to sound like the tuning of oscillator B, because that is interpreted as the repeat cycle. But as I vary this, it's going to vary the way in which the wave shape is, because effectively if it's exactly double the octave, it's going to go up and down twice, then it's going to reset. Well, it was going to reset anyway, almost exactly. But if it's slightly lower, then it's going to go up, complete full cycle up a bit, and then reset. And if it's slightly higher, it's going to complete 2 cycles, up a bit, and then reset. So the wave is going to kind of get torn. I'm going to open the filter so you can hear the harmonics even more pronounced. And that is going to sound different too. Or even. That's what oscillator B sounds like on its own. Here's oscillator A sync. Now this gets more interesting as the frequency is being changed, because then it's not just about making a strange wave that kind of goes up, up, and then up a bit. That whole thing is modulating. So that's when it gets really interesting. So let's start by just putting an LFO in there. So if I just take an LFO, sorry. There's an LFO, and I'm going to apply that obviously to this frequency. So when I put it back in sync mode, and now change the amount. It gets crazy. So let's just listen to how much that's being modulated. Back in sync mode. Right. But more exciting really is when you use an envelope to modulate it. So we've got the filter envelope here that we can use. At the moment it's really zero attack, sustain and relief, just a tiny amount of decay. So if I now map the filter envelope to the frequency here, you're going to get this. Doesn't really work because the arpeggiator is too fast. So if I now just play notes, and now open decay, more through, up the sustain, bit of attack, and now maybe blend in some of the LFO as well. guess you can play with the filter, but it's actually, that sound there would be mistaken possibly for a resonant filter, but it's not. It's a sound of sync, where the frequency of the synced wave is effectively tuned out on an envelope. Now just here, just on the attack. You can hear it open and then drop back down. There. If I put some decay in it. Put it all the way up. Too much. Still on square wave. Interesting, isn't it? So that is how you do sync. You can also do FM on this thing, but that's for another video.